Learning the Olympic lifts can be challenging, and if you don't have a coach, it can be even more challenging. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the lifts that were sent in to us from Instagram. So with that being said, let's get into it.
All right, Braden underscore G15. Braden's my buddy. Let's see some of his clean technique. So the biggest thing I noticed for him, his hips are set definitely too low when he goes to first pull off the floor. We see them rise up as a result of this. And we notice Braden's going to do the fold over and then all the way back. So a lot of times when you get folded over, you end up getting too far behind the bar after that as well.
Yeah, look how far back. He's still moving back behind it.
Yeah, so we see Braden do this like tip forward and then all the way back. We just want to see it more in the middle. We just want it to be here and then straight. Woo!
Yeah,
like instead of woo, woo, like all over the place.
Yeah, if we were to imagine like a line here, that line angle should stay the same as we make that first pull.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's see, does he at least clear the knees kind of well as a result of this back angle falling? So the knees are pretty effectively cleared. It's just that he's kind of messed up his balance a little by doing this tipping over, yeah.
Yeah, luckily not to the extent where the toes are coming up, but
yeah,
for sure shifting that balance, losing out on some of the leg drive. And what happens, you'll get into this like near power position with almost no knee bend to create good vertical leg drive.
Yeah. So he's only really going to be able to do the horizontal drive from that position. And what we see with him especially is the crash really hindering his ability to add more weight to this lift, most likely.
Yeah, you can see this just like how hard it hits him.
Yeah, so definitely being more vertical is going to help his crash. But most of the time this is just like a proprioceptive thing, like knowing where your body is in relation to that barbell as he's pulling under. So a lot of people try and rush into the bottom position when they don't actually need to catch it in the full bottom position. So meeting it where you pull it is very important, kind of like a power, although people also crash their powers. So you might think about even pulling it less high or just staying more connected throughout the turnover of the lift. If I had to dumb it down to one thing, like one specific thing, it would be to stay connected through the middle portion of the lift. Obviously, that's going to be assisted by the vertical drive instead of having the shoulders fly back behind the bar. Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, I think just thinking about the clean, some people think about the clean as like, I have to catch it at the bottom. And just even just changing up your thought process around that and thinking like I need to catch it on the way down to the bottom is a little bit closer to what you want to see. And you can ride the bounce that way. It makes it easier to get out of the hole. There's a lot of things that get a lot easier when you meet the bar and don't have all this space between the bar and your shoulders.
Yeah. One thing I know about Braden, specifically from knowing Braden as a person, sometimes he likes to go a little heavy.
Yeah.
So make sure you're taking time where you're working on these technical things. Outside of heavy lifts. You're not just going to suddenly figure out how to do it when you get to that heavy weight. You need to be working on these things at every weight, having days where you're not going heavier. Even if you do get the technique right, you're not adding weight because I did it well. So sometimes people need to help their training mindset a little bit to go a little lighter more often.
Yeah. I feel like you just snitched on him.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So
no offense. Love you, Braden.
Yeah. All right. So this next lift is from Selena Lifts. She just came out to our seminar this weekend. So we got a little bit of a better idea of how she moves, but let's take a look at this clean and jerk here. I don't think my hamstrings are that flexible. Oh. Grindy clean.
Yeah, she's maintaining pretty good positions through the pull of the clean. Let's see the jerk, though. Pretty long break in between.
Yeah. Sometimes even just the length of that break can make or break that jerk. So
yeah.
Let's go back to this clean start position.
So, yeah, our number one priority here is, she missed the jerk. So obviously she was able to make the clean. We kind of want to figure out, obviously we want her to make this a successful lift overall, a successful clean and jerk. But when she misses that jerk, it might actually be a result of something she's doing in the clean.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I think here.
Mm-hmm.
When we watch the jerk, she's kind of just out of energy. Like, it's like, and obviously I think she's waiting a long time because maybe she's lightheaded. She's, tried so hard on this clean. Let's just watch that jerk in full speed to see kind of, maybe how tired she feels in that.
Yeah. If somebody takes that long before going into the jerk, most of the time it's like they don't think that they're going to get it, and because of how fatigued they are after that clean.
Yeah.
So I think honestly this jerk could be fixed by the clean, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually that's something we kind of found in our seminar. We were going a little heavier on the clean and jerk.
Mm-hmm.
She had a rep of clean where she stayed at the bottom, did not bounce, and then she missed the jerk. The next rep, all we told her was, get that bounce, and she hit it on the first try,
right,
and was able to make the jerk after.
Yeah, and the clean looked easier. So like you can see she crashes pretty hard and gets stuck down at the bottom, and then just has to use all of her remaining strength. And especially if you're a smaller lifter, like that will really take it out of you, because your discrepancy between your clean weights and your front squat weights is so close that like a mistimed clean feels like a max effort front squat, and that is not the goal.
Yeah.
You know?
Another small thing for her is going to be staying tighter in the catch of the clean, pushing up into the bar with her shoulders as she's catching it. That doesn't mean pushing only with the shoulders, but creating that full body tension, bracing her core, pushing with her legs as she's receiving it. You don't want to be floppy in the bottom. You don't want to just get all the way to the bottom and let the weight control you. You're controlling that weight.
Yeah, and that weight wants to be on the ground, and you have to do everything in your power to not let it be. And even if it's landing on your shoulders and it's not going to be on the ground, it's still like if your core is not braced when you go to meet this bar, you're going to get folded, and so that bar is just a little bit closer to the ground, and it is going to keep trying to work its way down there. So you got to be pushing against that bar no matter what in every aspect of the lift, whether you're thinking about pulling against the bar, keep pulling, or as you start to turn over, now it's immediately keep pushing against the bar.
All right. Thanks to Selena for coming out to our seminar, and her coach at Orlando Strength is doing a great job.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So here we have Elise. Elise's piece is lifting. She's actually one of my athletes that I've been coaching for a few months now. Let's take a look. So definitely a few things to look at. Okay, we have the jerk as well. Yeah.
The fingertip grip.
Yeah, exactly.
Good lift.
Yeah, it is 3 white lights. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Let's just start from the clean. Let's start from the start position of the clean. The main thing I'm noticing, if this is this the frame of the start or
looks like it.
Okay, the video. Yeah, the video starts right there. So a few things is her mobility is probably holding her back a little bit to get into the right start position. Now, for the clean, it's a little easier to have that mobility to find the right start position, but in the snatch, it's a little harder. And I know this from working with Elise as a coach, is that she does have trouble retracting those shoulders in the start position and finding that upper back tension there. So she's just a little rounded over in the start position, and it's going to make it a little harder to be in the right position at the hip. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I think also she looks like her balance might be a little back on the heel.
Yeah,
we
see her toe slightly up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it there for that start position though. Let's see. Yeah, and then you can kind of see in that first pull,
especially as she passes the knees, those toes are coming up as she shifts back to the heel.
Yeah. Oh, look, they're coming up and moving out. That's fun.
Yeah. If the feet move out before you're extending, that might be a sign that you need to move them in your start position as well.
Yeah. If your feet are like turning out mid pull, just take them and put them where they want to turn out, and that might be a better start position for you.
Yeah. As a newer lifter, Elise has just started weightlifting in the last few months here. Mm-hmm. A lot of times what we're going to see too is high variance in her reps. So a lot of times, maybe her foot moves on this rep, but it's not moving on another rep.
Right.
So as a coach, it's important to decide which thing is happening on most reps so
Yeah.
that I can give her the most effective coaching.
Right.
Because if I tell her not to move her foot, but it only did that on one rep, like that's
Yeah.
probably, it's just like a fluke. It's just a random.
Yeah.
So things that are happening on all of her reps is the shifting to the heels as she passes the knee, is her start position, engaging the back and working on some mobility for that. And, she does a good job of getting that bar to the hip. I would like to see a little stronger extension at the top. Obviously she's still in a bit of a hunched over position that she kind of set from the floor. We want to see those shoulders just opening up, that chest getting proud at the top of the lift. Let's see her catch. What do you notice, Brian?
Pretty wide. What do you think?
I think it's wide and very high catch.
Yeah.
So she's not moved her hips very far down to catch this bar.
Yeah.
And so she's going to have trouble making heavier weights when she has to catch them actually at that height, as opposed to at the very top of that that portion.
Yeah.
And we can see too maybe that her mobility is a little limited in this bottom position of the clean as well.
Yeah.
Moving the feet in might help with that more, but it might be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So one thing I have her do is every single training session, she's doing a 5-minute squat at the end of the session. She is just, and I have it set as 5 sets of 1. I told her just complete it, however you like to, but I want you to spend 5 minutes in the bottom of the squat just working on that position.
It's underrated just how effective just like spending extra time in that position really helps a big difference. And it's just an easy thing to do. It's just kind of boring, and a lot of people don't want to do that kind of stuff, but that is what will make you a lot better for especially if mobility is your biggest limiting factor. Mobility can be one of those frustrating things that like it's either a problem for a long time, or you can do boring work and then it not be a problem ever again. And that's an important thing to do.
So as we go into this jerk, the main thing Brian noticed in our beginning is her kind of fingertip grip. She hasn't adjusted the hands at all coming out of the clean. So she just has fingertips on the bar when she's going to go to the jerk. So through the transition of the jerk, she's going to have to somehow get her full hand around the bar. And that's just going to be tough. And it's going to affect her positions. So let's zoom in on maybe her dip position and see where she gets to there. So that is pretty dang good. I'm happy with that. What about you?
Yeah,
Grant?
same. I mean, like the bar's fully rested on the shoulders. You're pretty upright. No notes there. I mean, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. A lot of times what happens is her hips will go forward out of this position. So let's see if...
There it is.
Yeah. That's what we see when she's coming out of the jerk. She does a great job on the way down. But you want to keep those hips with the same tension throughout the drive phase of the jerk as well.
I almost feel like the toes are turned out too much, and that's what's causing that.
Yeah, like her knees are caving in maybe
A little bit.
Part of that.
Yeah. And then split position here.
Now the split position, we're pretty heavy on the front foot. We can see she's even a little extra up on the toes on the back leg.
Yeah.
And then, that shin angle is just slightly leaned instead of being straight. Any other things you see there?
No, I don't think so. I think just like, potentially bending the knee just a little bit more and less tension in the calf. I mean, we do want the heels off the ground, but like this is a little excessive. So stepping that front foot out potentially a little bit so you can have a little bit more vertical shin angle, and then driving this knee down a little bit more will make it so you can get lower into the split position. And I think some of that just comes with like how you think about the lift. Like if you think about the movement as trying to move the bar up rather than just trying to move yourself kind of under the bar, that might change how you do the lift as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right, great job, Elise. We've been making tons of progress. You guys should have seen her split position when we first started. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So we've been working on that quite well. Another thing she had fixed as well was a pretty big bar crash.
Oh yeah.
That she was dealing with. So good job to her.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Thanks, Elise.
Yeah.